Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. And for this round of zodiac sign readings, we're going to do this 10 card spread. And we're also going to get out an oracle card. And at the end, we're going to ask what could be a possible outcome for people that they might not see coming, depending on if they harness more high vibrational Capricorn energy or a more worldly, shadowy Capricorn energy. Life's all about learning lessons. Some people have learned some of those lessons more so than some other people. You know, in our more shadowy, worldly nature, we've all been more, hopefully as smaller children, prideful, egotistical, self-centered, self-consumed. But we can be lazy, lustful, greedy, petty, envious, jealous, competitive. I think it should be all about us, and hopefully some other people have learned to temper that aspect within themselves and they've grown and matured themselves. And I view high vibe Capricorn energy as being free from your more worldly, shadowy nature, because our shadow nature is kind of represented by the devil. All those things that manipulate us, imprison us, confine us, restrict us, and imprison us. We could all think that that's going to make us happy, but we're kind of not enlightened to the truth that love is what makes life worthwhile. Being in relationships, being authentic and loving. And if we want to be in relationships with people who are like that, we should be that type of person. But, we have to get over our own prideful nature, fearful nature, self-defensive nature. Okay. So we all tap into Capricorn energy, which can be about what we view as victorious. Is it being all about ourselves? Prideful, egotistical? Is it all about having all the status and the ego and the image and the money? Is that how we define victory in our life? High vibe energy is about, I don't need it all. I want a balance. I have my dualistic nature. I want, yes, some of these things of the world, but I also want authentic, loving, just, fair relationships, being more independent of my shadow nature, being in relationships with people who are independent of their shadow nature, a more emotionally mature, balanced relationship. But for some people, it's they're more tipped out of balance, and some people don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love, so that's kind of what limits them, and they're more in their defensive nature, and they think that's the path to being happy, not getting hurt by love. The Oracle card is the challenger. Your relationship could be challenging you in a very painful way. So our own shadow nature challenges us. Our own shadow nature wants us in the Queen of Swords to be defensive to getting the justice we deserve, to loving and believing in ourselves, tempering our fears and our insecurities and our past pain and heartbreak by offering ourselves love and compassion and forgiveness and believing that we can manifest our dreams into reality. But in order to get that justice and be in this type of energy, the overarching reason for the reading is the Tower card. We have to detach from that old foundation. And just like our shadow nature, fear, insecurity, codependency, caught up in things of the world, defensive, our own shadow nature wants us to live our life that way. It's like our self-protective, self-defensive nature. Then there's other people in our life and in the world who want us to live our life like that, because they live their life like that. Keep staying in the Knight of Swords, defensive to loving and believing in yourself and being illuminated to the truth, because I don't want to deal with the truth. I want to stay defensive. I've been hurt before. I don't want to have to stand up for myself or stand up to my own shadow nature and the people in my life. I don't want to be inspired to change and get the justice I deserve and maybe be more authentic and loving and warm. Because then I'd have to love and believe in myself to believe that I do have all the resources to manifest my dreams into reality. And some people keep being defensive to believing they do. We all. The Magician card talks about that we do have all the resources to begin to manifest our dreams into reality at any given moment. But we have to stop giving in to our fear and our insecurity and our defensiveness and our codependency and our lack mentality. We have to stop doing that. And we have to make the free will choice. I choose to be in life-giving energy. The sun is high vibe Leo energy. Shadowy Leo energy is being in our ego and all that shadowy energy. I have the free will. It takes work and effort. I got to stand up to my own shadow nature, and I have to stand up to other people in my life who want me to keep being in friendships, workplaces, and relationships with them because they want me to be defensive to this, because they're defensive to this. There could be people in our life and in the world, they don't like us being balanced because they're tipped out of balance in defensiveness. So they want you tipped out of balance in defensiveness. They haven't learned to offer themselves love and compassion and forgiveness. And they haven't learned to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to people from their past, to let the past go. High vibe energy is about giving yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you. Seeing the truth. Some people are defensive. Shadowy Aquarius. Some people that we've all dealt with weren't very balanced or warm or loving or authentic. Some of them thought it was just and fair to be defensive, prideful, egotistical, bossy, controlling, and more about themselves. You're either being authentic and just and fair and truthful and authentic and loving and trying to manifest from love, or you think, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't know how to do that. I've had my past pain and heartbreak. I have my fears. I have my insecurities. And I have been defensive to shedding light on those things and offering love and compassion to those things to free myself from it. And if I haven't freed myself from those things, I don't want you to free yourself from those things. Because if you were to stay in a relationship with me of whatever sort, job, friendship, relationship, we could look like shining stars. That would be great. How about, and then there's some people they want to be in shadowy energy. They're okay with you being in high vibe energy. How about you free yourself and you be loving and nurturing and warm, but I get to keep being defensive. That works. That's great. I like that. That's like my idea. Aquarius is represented by the star card. It's kind of like, anybody can have their idea of the dream relationship, dream work environment, dream friendship group. How about I stay like I am, and I'm defensive to the truth, and I'm defensive to being more authentic or warm or loving or nurturing or encouraging? How about I turn my back on harnessing these energies in a high vibe way, and shadowy King of Wands that anyone can harness, male or female, it's kind of more about me. This is the way I like to do things. I like to repeat this old pattern. And there's some people in the world that are purposely looking for people who feel betrayed. The Queen of Swords, the feminine figures in tarot can talk about how we think and feel. There's some people in the world, the King of Wands, male or female, because the kings can represent how we present ourselves in the world, and the queens can represent how we think and feel. There's some people in the world that have felt betrayed. They're defensive to being more just and fair, being more authentic and loving, dealing with the truth. And so they decide, I think it's just and fair for me to operate from my ego and try to manipulate people to get them to do what I want. Oh, look, there's someone who feels betrayed. I'll go talk to them and try to get them in a relationship with me. And then I'll kind of try to manipulate them, maybe, tempt them. The King of Wands, fire energy, can be I'm going to use my charm and my looks and my sexuality and, all these things about me to try to get someone to get in a relationship with me. And I might want to stay here for a really long time. I don't want things to change. And I might do or say things in the relationship to maybe destabilize the person I get in a relationship with so they keep feeling defensive, fearful, don't love and believe in themselves. No, you should stay in a relationship with me. Let's nobody get more balanced. Let's nobody offer love to ourselves to heal from past pain and heartbreak. Let's keep moving forward, being manipulated by all those things, and just keep moving forward in this relationship. I think that's just and fair. That would make me happy. I could have a new beginning. I too have had some people in my past that I felt betrayed by. Some people just want to get in a new relationship just to look like they've had a new beginning. They think that's just and fair. Maybe it doesn't even really matter about the person they get in a relationship with. I'm mad that someone in my past didn't move forward with me, and I want to tell them, look, I detached from you. Look, I got in a new beginning. If there's some shadowy, immature, prideful, manipulative, bossy, controlling, immature people in the world, some people in their past already saw the truth about them and held their sword up to them in the Queen of Swords, male or female. And they said, you can move on with someone else. Because I've already figured out how you want to live life. You're defensive to being authentic and loving and warm. You defend being more about yourself. You defend being more about the things of the world or yourself or immaturity, less greed, pride, ego, self-centeredness, whatever it is. And I realize that you rationalize it. You think it's just and fair. I don't think it's just and fair. So you can go have a new beginning and go manipulate someone else. And then those people are trying to go get in a relationship with someone else, and they're still the same person they were at the last job, last friendship, last relationship. They still harness these energies in a shadowy way. I'm defensive to the truth. I'm defensive to healing and growing and maturing myself. I have my own ideas of what I think is just and fair. And I've either gotten in a new beginning or I want to have a new beginning. Part of the reason I might want to have a new beginning is to try to destabilize and upset someone from my past who wouldn't indulge me in my more immature ways of being. High vibe people have also felt betrayed, just like everybody else has in the world. The only difference is that the high vibe people, they wanted to still be in relationship with some of those people in their life, whether they're friends or family members or adult children or whoever. I loved you. I wanted you to grow. I wanted us to have this just and fair, loving, authentic relationship. And I tried to offer you the truth. I tried to inspire you, but, we can't make other people be more just and fair and authentic and warm and loving and work together with us in that energy. And high vibe people saw the truth of it, that everybody is where they're at. And I've also dealt with people in my past that I wish were more like that growing up or whatever. They could have been bossy, controlling, emotionally detached, cold, manipulative, kind of codependent or whatever they were, living their life the way they live their life. And I just see the truth of it. And I'm not going to let it keep me not loving and believing in myself. I just accept that everyone has to take responsibility for this within themselves, to heal from their own past pain and heartbreak, to reconcile themselves with that, offer love to it, for everybody to see the truth of people from their past, that we've all dealt with people who were egotistical, immature, bossy, controlling, self-centered, manipulative, not as loving and as warm and giving as we would like. And then we've probably also known some people who were in high vibe energy. And that's kind of, as we live life, we kind of realize that, you know, we can only do so much. And we have our own lessons to learn, and we've got to take accountability for our own actions. Some of those relationships didn't work out in the past because I was immature and I had growing up and maturing to do, and I was kind of defensive, you know, and I had to get more balanced, and maybe I was more defensive, just being more bold and brave. You know, it's all part of life. It's just that high vibe people are illuminated to the truth of it. I see where I needed to love and heal and grow and mature myself. I see where other people in my life needed to heal and grow and mature themselves. And if over time people learn those lessons, you know, I'm open to being in friendships and relationships with people. I can extend grace to people, just like I hope other people extend grace to me. But there's some people in the world that is like, I don't extend grace to anyone. I haven't extended grace to myself or other people in my past. I keep feeling betrayed and defensive. And as long as they keep feeling that way and they are defensive to illuminating the truth and offering like love and compassion to it, it's going to keep affecting how they feel about themselves, the decisions they make in their life, how they interact with other people. And that's when some people decide, I'll just try to control things in a relationship. I might try to present myself as high vibe Capricorn, like I harness high vibe Capricorn, and I view high vibe Capricorn as the King of Pentacles. People who present themselves as being these emotionally stable, ground mature people who've learned these lessons in life, that people should want to go into business with them, hire them, date them, marry them. They present themselves as someone who isn't aligned with their shadow nature. An unstable foundation means that there's some truths that are hidden in the foundation that people are trying to hide. And then these people who don't want to deal with these things, they get in relationships with people trying to present themselves maybe like they were the betrayed party. That you shouldn't listen to those people in my life who seem to be moving forward, maybe in a just and fair and authentic, loving way. No, 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 no. Don't go with those people. No, it's me. I am the one you should focus your attention on. Let those people go. Don't align with those people. You should align with me and my unstable foundation. Defensive to illuminating the truth. And some people have done that. And as time, initially people can align with certain people. Someone says, I was betrayed, and they can have people in their life who it's like, I will stand up for you, I will defend you, I will not defend those people. And partly it can be because they do have long-standing relationships with them or something, or, they're part of their family or a long-term friend group or something, and they don't want to upset the foundation anymore. And people, they can also have other kind of loving, encouraging people that, just because people make mistakes in the world, and even though we might think that they're kind of acting kind of shadowy or whatever, we don't just necessarily give up on people right away, and then they can have people in their life that are encouraging them to love and believe in themselves. But, there's some people that are just defensive to that. Some people do like it to be more about themselves, and eventually other people in their life can kind of see the truth. For a long time, we could have known each other, and I thought we were all, going to be done being more about ourselves. And because the King of Wands I view as Aries energy, which is about the self, which all of us, the first X number decades of our life, we could kind of be kind of about ourself and kind of more about ourself. But, if we want to be in relationships and work together with other people, well, some people have been illuminated to the truth that, it can't just be about me. And I have to get out of shadowy Aquarius energy of thinking everybody else should put aside their pride and ego in this relationship, but never me. Other people see the truth of it and have learned lessons that if I want to be in more just and fair and authentic and loving and warm relationships with people, I need to stand my ground, harness these energies in a high vibe way against my own shadow nature, my own defensive nature, to say, no, these people in my life are being just and fair, they're being authentic and loving and warm, and I'm going to take action to defend aligning with this within myself and aligning with these type of people in my life. And if there's my own shadow nature isn't going to like it, and there's also maybe going to be other people in my life who don't like it. Because I have freed myself from a way of living life and viewing life that used to keep me in a more defensive or betrayed or immature or more about myself or more about pride and ego or trying to manipulate people or something. And maybe some of those people live their life like that. Or they just don't like some of these people. Because if people harness these energies in a high vibe way and other people don't, well, they can just not like those people because, well, why are those people more balanced than me? Why are those people more authentic and warm and loving than me? I like to view myself as being that type of person. And in a lot of ways, some of the more worldly, shadowy people can kind of be, those types of people in people's lives. But it could be more, not because that's who authentically they are from their heart. It's kind of more an image they try to present in the world. And they like people to view them as being in high vibe energy. But when you get someone who likes to present themselves as being more just, fair, stable, grounded, authentic, loving, nurturing without having an ulterior motive, except to have more justice and fairness and love in their life, and then they get around people who really are more just and fair and balanced, and that's authentically who they are, and they're not trying to manipulate someone, well, then you can kind of tell the difference, right? And that's when some of the people who aren't authentically who they present themselves as being don't like the people who really are who they present themselves as being. And then they don't like people in their life aligning with those people. I don't like those people. You shouldn't like those people. For my own reasons. And some people are like, I'm sorry if you don't like those people, but I like those people. And, we're all our own individuals. And, we have to make that free will choice of, am I willing to fight for what I believe is just and fair? And if I have people in my life that will be mad at me and defensive to me when I'm offering people truth and love and to be just and fair and treat other people the way I like to be treated, and I might want to include some other people in my life that I think and feel are on that same page. And as some people are like, well, if you hang out with them, then I'm going to be mad at you. It's like, do I do that with you and your friends and who you hang out with? You have the free will to live your life the way you live it. It's just sometimes I think those people don't like it because they're afraid that over time, the people in their life will kind of start to see the truth when they're around people who really are just and fair and authentic and loving and encouraging, who aren't trying to manipulate them for prideful or egotistical reasons or You know, it's because it really is out of love, and it's not superficial and shallow. Well, let's go see what these cards are. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Three of Swords. So, there's some people in the world, which we've all been there to various degrees, as we've been growing up in life, where we haven't learned to invest in ourselves. The Four of Wands is also Aries energy. And we could be defensive of kind of loving and believing in ourselves and believing we can manifest our dreams into reality. And we all could have been in more codependent energy. And we had a way of viewing the world that maybe in our fire energy previously, we were more caught up in the world. And there's these things that I want to manifest in the world. And I might be kind of defensive and haven't learned to love and believe in myself yet and invest in myself and heal from past pain and heartbreak and get more balanced about the past and all that stuff to be more balanced within myself. The Three of Swords and the Justice card are both Libra energy represented by the scales of justice. Initially for the first probably 3-4 decades of our life, we're kind of tipped out of balance, I think, in the world, because we're really kind of motivated by those things of the world. It's a really big focus in our life, and we grow up in the world, and people tell us if we make our life about these certain things, we'll be happy. Our dreams will have come into reality. And we went and pursued those things, invested our time and energy into those things, drank those things, ate those things, popped those things, indulged in those things. And we did all that defending that truth and took action towards that truth. And then it kind of blew up in our face. And it didn't turn out the way we wanted. And that's when some people felt betrayed. And they, behind the scenes, with these cards not showing themselves, behind the scenes, some people, through that process, started to invest in themselves, in our more codependent energy, motivated by these things of the world. I want people to like me. I want people to be my friend. I want people to date me. I want to find a marriage partner, blah, blah, blah. We can put so much of our focus on things outside of us instead of really investing in ourselves and healing from our own past pain and heartbreak. And by getting into relationships with other people, it does challenge us to, because getting in relationships with people can trigger some of our fears and our insecurities and our past pain and heartbreak and those things. And sometimes some people came into our life and they served a purpose of trying, kind of maybe mirroring back our own shadow energy to us. And we could have had hope and faith and belief and love. And in a lot of ways, we could have gotten in relationships with people who we thought were a lot on the same page as us. I think we're motivated and inspired by a lot of the same things, a lot of the things that we like to invest our time, energy, and effort into, and that we find enjoyable, and how we like to spend our days and our weekends and our life. We have a lot of things in common, or we wouldn't get in a relationship with them. But it's kind of learning, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get more clear about our truth. And sometimes we kind of get in these mismatched relationships where everybody could have had some things blow up in their face and things didn't work out the way they wanted. And then we're moving forward in life and we meet someone and we just assume, with these cards not showing themselves, that we harness those energies in the same way. Some people in their earth sign energy of the Ace of Pentacles, in their Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo energy, they are motivated and inspired by justice and truth and love. and wanting to heal and grow and mature themselves and learn lessons in life. And in their foundation of themselves, they respect all four aspects of themselves: their heart, their mind, their worldly nature, their creative, inspired nature. And they too have had heartbreak in their life, but they're motivated and inspired to keep looking to the future and like believing in their dreams. But they can get in a relationship with someone. So we have the earth signs, Aries energy and Libra energy, and we can get in relationships with other people, and we think, because we kind of have a lot of things in common, that we think we're compatible, but we don't realize, and later we can become illuminated to the truth, that in their earth sign energies, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, they're kind of more aligned with their worldly view of life and maybe more inspired by the world. Some of them maybe a little more inspired by themselves. And maybe they're living more from their mind than their heart, being more defensive because I've been hurt before. And instead of being motivated and inspired to work through those things, to deal with the truth of those things, they just figure, in my pride and ego, I'm just going to move on. I don't have to deal with those things. I can just let those things go. But the truth sets us free. And if we haven't dealt with the truth of those issues from our past, seen where we needed to grow and heal and mature, see where other people in our life needed to heal and grow and mature, we could probably still be in our ego about some situations in our life that didn't work out. And some people who were defensive to us, or weren't very just and fair, or were bossy, or controlling, or manipulative, and we still take it personally because we haven't offered that love to ourselves. We haven't offered the truth and love to ourselves to heal from it, to get balance between our mind and our heart over those past events. And if we haven't healed from it, we're still going to be defensive. And we're defensive to people seeing the truth. That we do have some issues from our past pain and heartbreak, or things within us and our self-learning beliefs, or that we are more about ourselves, and we do like to live more from our mind than our heart, and we don't want people to see the truth of it. The thing is, if one person has more hope and faith and belief in love, and is motivated and inspired to work through those things so those things quit manipulating them, they don't want to keep letting their ego nature make them defensive. They don't want their ego to keep manipulating them. Because they're probably going to either keep being more about themselves, thinking, just haven't been illuminated to the truth that love was the answer. I needed to offer love to all those situations to free myself of it. And other people realized they needed to do that work within themselves, or they were going to keep repeating these old patterns, and it was going to stop them from getting the justice that they deserve. I can want other people to change. I can keep complaining about other people and saying it's their fault, or I can accept that they are the way they are, deal with the truth of it. Is the truth that they're defensive to being very loving, very just, being very fair, being warm, being loving, are manipulative, are bossy and controlling? If I see the truth of it, they have the free will to be whatever way they want. Everybody does. I just need to see the truth. I could have wanted other people to be different. I could have wanted other people to change. All I can do is offer people truth and love and encouragement. They have to do the rest. And some people are like, I'm not doing it. And if you want to be in a relationship with me, you're going to have to keep letting me be like this energy. Maybe defensive, emotionally cold, detached, bossy, controlling, egotistical, more worldly focused than love focused. And the truth sets some people free. I, in my King of Wands energy, can be attracted to people. I could want to be in a relationship with them. I could want a dream to come into reality with them, whether they're my adult children, my sibling, my friend. But I have to deal with the truth. And the Tower talks about how the truth has been revealed, that some people have a different idea of their idea of the dream life or dream friendship, dream job environment, dream life. And their idea of what they think is just and fair is different than my idea of what I think is just and fair. And if they are more defensive and want to align with their defensive or being more about themselves or more about the world or their immature nature, self-indulgent nature, whatever, I have to see the truth of it and wish them peace. My truth is different. And I am going to detach from this foundation to get the justice I deserve. And I can only have my dream come into reality with people whose truth is the same as mine. And if other people's truth is they like being more about themselves, want people to be more unstable, ungrounded, not grow, mature themselves, be in shadowy energy because they're in shadowy energy, then they need to go find someone else also that is more on that same page as them. Or if they're prideful and egotistical and they want everybody to make them the center of attention, you need to find someone who's willing to do that. And I've kind of found out that's not me. I want a more just and fair and authentic relationship. People who aren't hiding that they're more all about themselves and they think it's just and fair. People who have learned that if you want to work together with just and fair and authentic and loving people, you need to detach from your defensive nature and being more about yourself. And heal and grow and mature yourself. And if that's not you, then I wish you peace. Everybody can feel betrayed. High vibe people can feel betrayed by people in their life. And, you can feel that way in relationship to other people. You could feel they're more immature or bossy or controlling or whatever. Those people in turn could have people in their life that they would like to be in relationships with, and they'd like it to be more just or fair, but they could have people in their life that they think are more mature or bossy or controlling. We're all trying to find people who we kind of think are on the same page as us at any given time. But high vibe people have looked at life from a higher perspective. Some of those people right now aren't even interested in getting in a relationship with someone right now until they get more balanced within themselves. Tired of people wanting to be in relationships with them and kind of indulge in a relationship. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And that could be bothering some people because there could be other people that would like to be in a relationship with you, but they only want to be in a relationship with you if you're in your fear, your insecurity, and your lust and your greed. And if you keep maintaining balance and loving yourself and believing in yourself, you're moving on. And they already know that's not their truth, so they got to let you go. And they got to go find someone else who might feel betrayed, who doesn't know the truth about them, who might be heartbroken, and go try to manipulate someone else. And they could also feel betrayed because they know you're a just and fair and authentic and loving person, and you don't try to manipulate and control people. And when they were in a friendship or relationship, they could have tried to manipulate and control you instead of being open and authentic, where you could have worked something out with them. And since they weren't willing to invest in being that way, or some people, when you got out of one relationship, you could have communicated to some people in your life, I learned some valuable lessons. And now I'm communicating with people in my world that this is how I'm moving forward. Where are you at? You know? Are you on the same page as me? Are you not? And some people aren't willing to invest in getting in a relationship with you if they felt betrayed by you before. And it's like, okay, well, there's consequences for our actions. But I'm going to move forward in high vibe energy. I wish everyone peace. I had lessons learned. I healed. I grew mature. I'd offer people the truth and peace and love. Who wants to move forward in this way? And some people are like, nope, that's not my truth. You can go. Some people might say, no, I feel like when I wanted to be your friend, or I wanted to date you, or we were friends, or I was dating you, when you had those lessons learned, you were defensive to me and let go of this relationship. And now you might have learned those lessons, but some of those people, you know, have moved forward in their own high vibe relationships. Some of those people aren't who we thought they were to begin with. You know, high vibe people just deal with the truth. There can be people I would like to be in a relationship with, people I was in a relationship with, people who I am in a relationship with, friends or whoever in my life. High vibe people have learned to speak their truth. They're loving and encouraging, treat other people the way they like to be treated. But I'm not going to keep indulging people in poor behavior. And if you're defensive to me and you don't want to invest in a friendship with me, okay. I wish you peace. I'm going to move on. I don't have to understand why. I'm sure one day if you work through whatever it is what it was, you'll let me know. But if you don't, you don't. I can only take responsibility for my part. And shadowy people could keep feeling betrayed that other people keep healing and growing and maturing themselves because they don't do that. And it can get harder and harder for them to find someone to be in a relationship with, or they got to keep looking younger and younger to find someone. You know, some people can be like 45 or 60, but they have like the emotional maturity level of more like a 21 or 25-year-old, right? It's like, well, how dare those people that I got in a relationship with want it to be more just and fair and authentic and deep and meaningful? That's not how I ever planned to live my life, male or female. I'm going to go find someone who feels betrayed, and I want to move forward thinking it's just and fair for it to be more about me, or for me to operate in my ego or my defensive nature and manipulate people in a relationship. Create the illusion I'm just and fair and authentic and loving when I'm not. And they'll go get in a relationship with someone else, and then those people see the truth. And some of those people leave. And it keeps happening over and over, but they don't want to see the truth that, you know, they're kind of self-indulgent or defensive or try to manipulate people, try to control people. And if some of those people have found someone who is more on the same page as them, high vibe people, more worldly focused people, more shadowy people, if they found someone who's on the same page as them, then everybody could be happy because they found someone who seems to be on the same page as them. It's just that some people, if it's not truth and love, it's for some ulterior purpose. It's for my ego. It's for my image. I felt betrayed. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to tell someone in my past, look at me, I've had a new beginning. I wanted to indulge myself, maybe sexually, fire sign energy in a relationship. I had the opportunity to do this work within myself to heal and move forward in life. But because I keep giving in to my defensiveness or my ego or my lust or my greed, I keep not getting the justice I deserve. And some people can't figure out why some people seem to have these authentic and just and fair and loving and nurturing relationships. They could feel, I present myself just like those people. I have some of the same traits, characteristics, assets as those people. But the difference is, You're either living more from your mind than your heart. It's like a strategy, trying to manipulate people, operating more from your ego for a selfish kind of motive, or you're actually being just and fair with people, being authentic and warm and loving and encouraging in truth and love. And that's what some people just don't get, because some people do view life kind of really shadowy. And they think everybody's trying to manipulate everyone else. Everybody has ulterior motives. Everybody's, like it's just the luck of the draw why this works out for some people. It's like, well, someone has to be authentic and warm and loving and just and fair. And for some people, their whole idea in order to get that, again, I don't want to be that type of person, but I want to try to get someone like that in a relationship with me. And then I'm hoping if I get them in a relationship with me, that even later when they see the truth, that their dream isn't going to come into reality. I am not who I said I was, and you have seen the truth of it. Then they're hoping, because of those people's ego, about letting it go and loving and believing in themselves to become independent of it, that they'll stay in a relationship and keep investing in it even though they're heartbroken. And that's what some people are doing too. Some people even know I'm not in a relationship based on truth and love, but out of my fear or my insecurity or my codependency, or I just want to prove a point to someone. I think if people have bad intentions, it's going to probably blow up in their face anyway. And the people who have good intentions are speaking the truth in love. And if the people in their life aren't working together with them in truth and love, they're not so much in their ego that they're willing to let go of it. So those people can go get in a relationship and live their life the way they want to live it. And they can go live their life the way they want to live it. And who is most mad? The people who wanted to benefit from being in a relationship with a loving, warm person. Even though they could seem to have more of the things of the world, perhaps, and other people are just and fair and loving people. Over on this side, we don't. Well, the Knight of Pentacles has a pentacle because the Magician is Gemini and Virgo energy. Other people might have a lot of worldly things that make them look victorious and successful. But if they don't align with their more loving, hopeful, believing nature, and they get people who are willing to stay in relationship with them, and those people aren't very balanced and loving and warm and authentic, it might look good by worldly standards, but it's not based on truth and love. And the people who were offering truth and love weren't willing to stay in a relationship with someone else who wasn't that way. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? Could have gotten in new jobs, new friendships, new relationships, maintaining balance within yourself, loving yourself. Some other people are mad because you feel that way about yourself. We have 3 cards not showing themselves, and the reason is because of the Queen of Pentacles. You invested emotionally in yourself to grow and heal and mature yourself. And because of that, you are willing to detach with the Tower card, detach from aligning with these energies in a more worldly, shadowy way, which would have kept you repeating an old pattern. And when you offered love and truth to those situations or feelings within yourself, you naturally kind of disconnected in your life from the people in your life who harness those energies in a more shadowy way. The Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Empress energy. So it could be looking to people to be loving to you, because the Queen, when we were more defensive of being balanced and loving ourselves, we were kind of being manipulated by our more unloving nature. No, no, no. I need to go look outside myself. I need to go find someone to love me. And so then you invested love into people who you viewed as loving. And like I say, they could have been loving. The only problem got to be when it had to be more just and fair and authentic. And people let their more vulnerable, authentic nature out to play in the world. You can be in a relationship with people for a long time, working through all these different things, but then we get down to the core truth and what we think is just and fair. And some people are like, I'm not willing to get out of my ego nature, my defensive nature, more about me nature. I was willing to do a lot of other things and compromise, but not that. And the other people were like, but my truth is that it is about having hope and faith and belief and love. So again, you kind of realized in your Queen of Cups and your Empress energy, emotionally, in your Scorpio, Libra, and Taurus energy, you wanted more deep, meaningful relationships that were more based on being just and fair and acting with character and integrity and walking the talk. And other people might like to present themselves as being that type of person, but they could be a little more emotionally shallow and superficial and more about a certain status and image in the world and like people to view them as loving, but to really be more authentic and emotionally maybe grow and mature themselves, no. If you don't want to stay in a relationship with them and do it the way they want, they'll go find someone else who does. Because that, it's just not like their truth. And we just see the truth of it. And you can stay in a relationship where it was more about looking like a shining star in the world and staying in it for those reasons. If it's not more just and fair and authentic and loving, I don't want a more superficial and shallow relationship. And the other people could think it is, you should stay in the relationships if it has those certain aspects to it, even if they're defensive to being more authentic, and even if they are more about themselves, and even if, it's like, I'll let you find someone else who's willing to indulge you in that energy. What's coming up for people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? We have a card not showing itself, then the Queen of Swords, that's the Six of Cups. And the reason it came out is because of the Six of Swords. So, both the Queen of Swords and the Six of Swords I view as Aquarius energy, which is about our dreams and what our truth is and how we view life. Some of the people that are more shadowy energy, they are repeating a pattern of the past, is what the Six of Cups can talk about. And I view the Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups as Scorpio energy, which is fixed sign energy. We're all ready to kind of move forward in life and be more authentically ourselves and believe in ourselves and kind of step out of our comfort zone at different times in life. But there's going to be some people that they have this way of viewing life and living life, and that's how they want to live it. So there's a certain way of viewing life and relationships and how they interact with people in relationships that they enjoy, and that's how they want to keep living their life. And it might be that they don't, it is just more about the world and having a certain status and image in the world. And it can be not about looking at life from a higher perspective. That is their truth. The world tells us this is what you should make your life about. This is what makes you look victorious and successful in the world. That is the game of life. And other people adhere to a higher truth and justice. It's like, I think there's more to life than just indulging myself or being about me or making my life all about me or ego or image or money and lust or greed. I think we're supposed to emotionally grow and mature ourselves, and I think we're supposed to treat other people the way we like to be treated. I think we're supposed to be learn to be more authentically ourselves, to heal from past pain and heartbreak, to quit being so defensive and quit being more about ourselves. If we want a dream to come into reality in the world, it's to love, be at a place of peace and balance and love within ourselves, offer other people peace and love and encouragement for them to work through their issues and become all they can be. And if everybody gets out of their more immature, shadowy, me first or whatever, you know, it could be a better world. We could all move forward and help bring a dream into reality. And some shadowy people are always going to have some more high vibrational people in their life who do kind of look at life from a higher perspective. And those people could want to be in a relationship with the more worldly, shadowy people. But eventually they see the truth. You're repeating a pattern of a way of living life or viewing life. I've already been there and I've done that. And I've already seen that making my life about those things or making those things so important in my life that that's why I keep indulging in them, because I'm sure those are the things that will make me happy. Or if I drink enough or eat enough or have enough money or enough power or influence or have enough people having sex with me or making me the center of attention or whatever will make me happy. And I found out it doesn't. But some people haven't learned that yet. And that's when we see the truth that I can't make people get out of their defensiveness. I can't make people get out of their ego. I can't make people get out of their self-centered nature or their manipulative nature or all the things within them that manipulate them or all the people in their life or the world at large that manipulates them. And they're always going to have some high vibe people in their life who also, the Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords can be people who have a lot of mental conflict within them that they don't want to deal with. They're defensive to dealing with the truth of it. Things within themselves, things from their past, other people in their life. Or the Five of Swords can be people who want to win at all costs and it's really all about them and they don't care. You know, they have their way of living life. It's their way or the highway. And if you're not going to do it their way or make your life more about them, and you want to be more independent, you have your own dreams, you have your own unique talent, skills, and interests, you want to invest in living your authentic life, well, how dare you? If they make their life all about them, you're supposed to make your life all about them. And that's what some people think is just and fair. And that's how some people view life and view relationships, you know? And some of them could have other people in their life. Some people they've known from childhood. Some are people that wanted to have that authentic type of relationship with them. And right now they could have some other people leaving their life. Because they see that they don't want, you know, just a relationship way that is not like repeating some old pattern. It's just like when you could have been in junior high and high school, you had people act a certain way in friendships, in romantic relationships. I don't have any interest in going back to being in that type of relationship dynamic. I thought everybody outgrew that, matured out of it. I don't even want to hang around people who act like that anymore. And some people, that's still the stage of life they're at. And for some of them, that could be how they like to operate in the world. I was like, yeah, your truth's different than mine. And some high vibe people could be leaving their life right now. And the people who might stay might be other people who hide, I have a certain way of viewing life and relationships, and I want to keep repeating that pattern. And if they find someone who's on the same page, I view life like you, I'll stay in a relationship with you for these reasons. It just might, it could be the things that, you know, and it could just be that they're at the same emotional maturity level. You know, we've all been there too. You know, when we were, say, 18, we could have lived, we thought we were living the dream up here in high vibe, but other people who could have been like age 25 could have been like, oh my gosh, they're so immature. You know? So it can always be kind of in relationship to others, but high vibe people have seen the truth of someone's foundation, and it wasn't being more emotionally mature in a just and fair and authentic and loving way. They might like to live more from their mind than their heart, to protect their heart, and until they go through enough life experiences that it's probably not going to manifest what they want to manifest. They might look victorious and successful. They might look like a shining star in the world. They could look like they got it all. But you're either building a foundation on truth and love, and that's a solid, stable foundation where people have emotionally matured and they are who they say they are, or people are trying to create the illusion of being that type of person, but it's not the truth. You know, they're still driven more by something worldly based, ego based, shadowy based. And they're going to have to learn some lessons the hard way, just like some other people did. The other people are going to move on to like the next phase of life because they learned the truth sets us free. When we learn the lessons we were meant to learn from a particular phase of life, we detach from being motivated and inspired to live life that way. And that's kind of when we get the justice we deserve. And we are given that new beginning because we are ready to learn the next lesson in life. And while you're moving forward learning a next lesson in life, some other people might be mad that you didn't stay back here and indulge them and do a relationship in this old pattern. And you're like, I don't want to repeat that old pattern. I've already been there, and my dream doesn't come into reality there, and I have a dream. So I'm going to move forward like this, but if that's your truth and that's how you want to keep living life, then you keep doing that. You just need to find someone else to work here or be your friend or be in a relationship with you, because I've already been there and done that and found out that is not aligned with my truth. So I'm going to go have a new beginning. And everybody has the free will to live their life the way they want of what they think is just and fair. It's just that high vibe people are offering truth and love to people, being authentic, treating other people the way they like to be treated, and they want other people to treat them that way in return. And some people are like, no, if you won't do it and make it more about me, then you can go. I'll go find someone else to get in a relationship with. And then they don't want people to be illuminated to the truth about why they didn't move forward with the more just and fair and emotionally nurturing, loving people. And sometimes some people could just say, high vibe people are, you can have two high vibe people break up too. They're a high vibe person. It's just not my truth. There was a lot of things, I thought it was going to work, but, our dreams kind of have to be the same. You want to live in a big town. I want to live in a small town. It can just be, we just weren't on the same page. So it's trying to find people we are on the same page with. So there you go, Capricorn. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.